I'm going to call this beautiful design Corners, Corners Everywhere because that's all I see. This is a stunning, stunning design, and it's something that even a beginner can do, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to set it aside for a moment. All of this comes from a simple striped fabric. This is a basic stripe, okay? Now, what we do with this is we make half square triangles. Now, look back, because I just did a few videos. One was how to create eight half square triangles at a time, and one for 16. Go back and you can see exactly how to do that. But I want to show you something important about the process of that when dealing with the stripe. We start with two even squared shapes, and we put them face to face, right? Now, I could cut another exact square shape just like this one, but look, those stripes won't match. What's very important when you create an HST using a basic striped fabric is lay it right sides together, but I am looking at this fabric and I am matching the design. I don't care that there's extra over here. I don't care that there's extra over here, okay? It's very important that we match the design on both the top and the bottom. And when you have those matched, well, then you can slice off the extra, and you can also cut off the extra here. And then this is where you would start the process of making the 8 half square triangles, okay? So you'll find that on our video, Sewing Parts Online. What they look like is this. Because they were all done with the stripe matching exactly, all of these HSTs are exactly the same. And that's very important. You know, you can take a look. In this little square, there's a tiny bit of red here, there's a tiny bit there, tiny bit there, tiny bit there, and they all end up with the white stripe along the outer edge. I did that intentionally. I cut all of these down to 4-inch squares just so I could have them be exactly the same, okay? Now, once you've done this, you can do a couple of things with some squares and some HSTs. I could turn them in like this. I can turn them all facing the center, and look at that. It looks like a nice square target, right? I don't advise doing that, and the reason is, I'm going to show you. I did one. It's very unforgiving. Because you're dealing with exact stripes, my points don't line, you know, your points have to line up everywhere if you're going to attempt this with a straight stripe line and want a perfect outcome. So stay away from that one unless you're a really good sewist, and if you are, do it and show me a picture because I want to see. What I say is, if we started with that design, we're just going to turn 2 of the corners just in the opposite direction. If I turn that one that way and that one that way, this, my friends, is the design, okay? Because if you'll remember, and I'll drag this over here, this corners everywhere. Here is one of the quilt blocks. And the finished size of this quilt block measures 7 inches square, just so you see that. I took this and sew these two together, and then, of course, flip it down and stitch there. It's all 1/4-inch seam allowances. You've done this many times before, but this is the shape of the quilt block. Very simple. Now, what's great is when you do many of them, I've done 4 of these together, that's when the magic happens, and it does. As you get larger, you just see more and more corners. I really love the design. I hope you'll give it a shot, and happy sewing.